Has inflation peaked? Don't bet on it. Hello everyone and welcome back to stormwall.com. It's August 2022 and today we're going to talk inflation. Now, inflation is something that no one was talking about before last year. When I wrote in July 2020 about the looming risk of inflation, it wasn't well received. It was like I was saying that the earth was flat or that the virus causing COVID-19 might have been created in a lab. Oh, wait, I did write that at the time. Today, it seems like everyone everywhere is talking about inflation. People are talking about it because they feel it in their rapidly emptying wallets, in their growing credit card balances, in their dwindling bank accounts, and in the sticker shock they feel every time they go to the store or to the gas station. The price of gas has tripled. Groceries, healthcare, and education are all getting more and more expensive. People are working 2 jobs, but they still can't afford to buy a car or home, and summer vacation has become out of reach for more and more families. But there may be good news on the horizon. Earlier this month, President Biden told whoever was listening that the economy had 0% inflation in the month of July. Let's take a look.
Today, we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July. 0%. Here's what that means. While the price of some things went up last month, the price of other things went down by the same amount. The result, 0 inflation last month, but people were still hurting, but 0 inflation last month.
So many commentators took the moment to speculate that perhaps inflation had peaked. The stock market, which had been in bear territory for months, suddenly reversed and started to hit new 2022 highs in a wishful thinking type of approach to investment strategy. So it sounds pretty good, but can this really be true? The answer is no. So let's take a minute and unpack this. So July's headline inflation, which was 8.5%, was down from June's number of over 9%. And that's how Biden got a soundbite about 0% inflation. He looked at it month over month. But inflation has been trending above 8% since March 2022, which is the highest the U.S. has seen in over 40 years. Even this number probably underestimates real inflation, and it certainly doesn't reflect what most Americans are experiencing. Biden's comment was both misleading and misses the point. Inflation stats are measured on a year-over-year basis, not sequentially, month over month. And that's because there are seasonal and cyclical effects that monkey with the monthly numbers, and annual figures help sort this out. It's the same reason that retailers don't ever compare January sales against December's when holiday Christmas shopping is at its peak. It's better to compare one holiday against the other rather than comparing January when everyone's exhausted from buying and they start returning things and making rash and short-lived resolutions to not eat or drink ever again. So let's look at what's really going on below the surface. The biggest driver of price inflation has been energy, with gas prices up by 44% and fuel oils up a whopping 76%. Groceries are up double digits as well, with milk up over 15%. Chicken, arguably the cheapest form of animal protein fit for human consumption, is up 18%, and eggs cost 38% more than a year ago. So what's happening here? Consumers are being forced to trade down. They're buying cheaper forms of less healthy and more processed foods to stay within budget. It's not just gas getting in the way of summer travel. New cars and trucks are up almost 12%, and replacement tires for your old one are up 15%. Forget about getting on a plane this summer with ticket prices up nearly 28%. So most of that you know already. You're living it day to day, every time you go to the gas station. But why is it happening? So if you've been listening to the Biden administration or the legacy media, you've heard a lot of things. Like it's Putin's price hike. It's the war in Ukraine. Now the reality is that inflation and gas prices have been on the rise in the U.S. since the summer of 2021, long before the war started, when we were told it would be temporary. Since it clearly hasn't been temporary, they've since gone deeper in the same old bag of tricks and blame. It's COVID. It's the greedy oil companies. It's truckers and farmers. It's climate change. It's Trump's fault. Now, none of these excuses really hold up. So I want to talk to you about the real driver of inflation. We're going to go into detail on this on the next video, but the short answer is that government has been spending way too much money, creating too much debt for way too long, which has created too many dollars floating around in the economy. This massive pile of new debt has a problem, which is that no one, not even China, seems to want to buy our sovereign debt anymore. So our central bank, the Federal Reserve, is buying it on your behalf and forcing money into the markets. All this has tripled the money supply. And price inflation has now emerged as an intentionally designed tax on Americans intended to absorb all those extra dollars and to reduce the government's cost of debt. So who pays for this? You do. I hope you enjoyed this and maybe learned something. If so, give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the Stormwall channel on YouTube and sign up for the mailing list on stormwall.com. If you're interested in learning more, check out part 2 on this same topic, same series, how to think about inflation. It's important you stick this one out as we unpack it and hopefully demystify it a bit, but we wanted to give you a little taste, a little tease of it on this video. The second one will go into a lot more detail. In the meantime, if you want to go even deeper on the inflation topic, I wrote a more detailed summary of the issue in my first book, Stormwall: Observations on America in Peril. I wrote this in 2020, and there's a link below in the show notes where you can pick this up on Amazon, whether in paperback or Kindle, or through Apple Books for an ebook version there as well. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next time on part 2, how to think about inflation.